Okay, so I made part one and I made part two, and then I realized I didn't even talk about the books that I picked up at Value Village. So I had to go into Value Village to pick up costumes for the school Christmas play, and I swore to myself that I was not going to go to the book section. So naturally, within 5 minutes, I was in the book section. Because it was perfectly safe because they weren't going to have any books that I wanted anyway. Um, of course. And then, of course, they had books that I wanted. So this was the other thing that I picked up, the other books that I picked up. Here's the thing about Value Village. I actually don't think that they give you a really good price on their books, considering. Um, I feel like there's places where you can like get better book, like even Book Outlet, you can get brand new books for cheaper than you can get at Value Village. So just saying, I do it anyway. So here's the thing. Um, Robertson Davies, I got the Cornish trilogy. I have been thinking lately, I love Robertson Davies, and I've been thinking lately about how I want to reread some Robertson Davies over the course of the next year or two. And I have a strong suspicion that I actually have this trilogy in the boxes that I mentioned in the previous video that I got from my father. But I don't know that for sure. And I did not know that I was actually going to be able to access those books this weekend because I didn't. Things with my father are complicated, and I didn't know if I was actually going to be able to see him or not. Um, I won't get into that, but anyway, so it could have been years till I actually got to check those boxes and see about these books. So I saw these books, and honestly, I just love the artwork on them too. I think it's gorgeous, and I kind of wanted to keep them together. I just think they're beautiful copies. I know I don't have these copies. I have, if I do have them, they're a little bit different. So whatever. I just decided I would do it, even if I did have them. So I got those, which was a good find. And then, and I should say that's not something I normally do. I don't usually be like, oh, I already have a copy of that, but this one's prettier, so I'm going to do that. I have done it in the past. I probably will do it again, but I just don't do it a lot. And then I found the Three Pillars of Zen. I am a student of Zen Buddhism, and so that was a really good find for me. It's like brand new. Like that's what's so impressive about it. That's part of the reason I just bought it because it was like, oh, it's practically like new. And then Becoming Odessa has been on my want to read list forever. Um, but I'm not interested in it enough to like go buy a new copy, and it just happened to come across my path. So of course I got it, and it's also like new. Like that's pretty amazing. Often with adventure books, if you're gonna find them secondhand, they're pretty trash because people like me are reading them, and we tend to be reading them when we're going on adventures. Um, like we just are people who move around a lot, and the books come with us, right? So anyway, so it's pretty rare that you're gonna find one in such a good condition. So maybe this went to somebody who just never read it. I don't know, but anyway, I thought that was an excellent find, and so it was worth spending the money on it for sure. Um, then here's another one that I has been on my want to read list. Um, and I just kind of knew even when it came out, I was like, well, I'll just wait. It'll come across my path at some point as a used copy. And sure enough, it did. It's also in pretty good condition, I think, for a soft cover. It has a little bit of wear on it, but I thought it was great. And it's Chris Hadfield's An Astronaut's Guide to Life on Earth. So I'm pretty excited about that. I think when I'm done, we'll have to see, but I might just put it in the school library. Anyway, cool. I thought that was a pretty cool find. And then another one in here. Oh my goodness, it doesn't end. That's ridiculous. Oh, Rousseau's dog. So I'm pretty excited about this. Now, my first university degree was in political science, and Jean-Jacques Rousseau, his autobiography, The Confessions, is one of my all-time favorite autobiographies. I was very enamored of it and of him. So anyway, this book is about him and David Hume and a feud that they have going on between them. Um, so Rousseau goes to England with his beloved dog Sultan and willingly takes refuge with his more respected counterpart David Hume. Like he kind of got driven out of France. Like he was pretty um, a bit of a rapscallion, I suppose. So he was kind of driven out of France, and so Hume took him in. But within months, the exile was loudly accusing his benefactor of plotting to dishonor him, which prompted a most uncharacteristically violent response from Hume, and so began a remarkable war of words and actions that ensnared many of the leading figures in British and French society and became the talk of intellectual Europe. Now, I had heard this like referenced, but like it's sort of like a thing that gets referenced in passing, like, oh yeah, then this thing happened. So I'm very curious about this. So Rousseau's dog is the fascinating true story of the bitter and very public quarrel that turned the Age of Enlightenment's two most influential thinkers into the deadliest of foes. A most human tale of compassion, treachery, anger, and revenge, of celebrity and its price, of shameless spin, of destroyed reputations and shattered friendships. So it sounds juicy. So I'm excited to get into reading that. Then I have two books. You know how you get your Value Village and you buy four, you get two free. So these were ones I had looked at and put back, forgot that you get the fourth one free. So I went back and got them, but I'm already kind of like, I have a feeling these are going to get culled right away, which they were quote unquote free, so I guess it doesn't really matter. And that's Jeanette Winterson's The Passion and Donald Miller's, I don't know, this one I might read. A Million Miles and a Thousand Years. How I Learned to Live a Better Story. I think it's about this guy like goes cycling across America. I don't know if he's a really good writer. I might get sucked into this. I do like a good story about people who, are like walking around the world or doing, things like that. So I might get sucked into it. But and then Marco Polo's The Travels. Uh, why not, right? Um, I think it'd be interesting to read about the world, what it was like back then, back in history. I'm hoping that it's not going to be the language isn't going to be too like flowery because I don't do well sometimes with older texts just because I struggle with following along with the language. All right, that's part 3. So I really, there's a lot of books coming into my house again after I tried so desperately to cull as many as I possibly could. I'm pretty sure that that's at least 30 books. I didn't count. I'm gonna total them up, and I'll put the total down at the bottom in the show, in in the uh, in the journal notes down at the bottom, so that I have an idea of what the total is for those. Okay, I'm gonna get to making that other video about the boxes of books that came in that I've been forcing my father to store for me for years that I'm not entirely convinced I'm going to be super excited to see again. So it's like a reunion video. That's kind of nice. A reunion video. I'll see if I missed my old friends or not.